Canada celebrates National Indigenous Peoples Day. The summer solstice, June 21st, marks a day dedicated to celebrating the languages, cultures, and traditions of the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities across Canada. The longest day of the year, the summer solstice, marks National Indigenous Peoples Day. The First Nations, Inuit, and Métis communities have celebrated their cultures, languages, and traditions at this time of year for generations. The summer solstice has deep cultural and spiritual significance for them as it signals a time of renewal, connection, and celebration. Celebrations around Canada. Across Canada, celebrations offer events to showcase and dive deeper into the history and traditions of the various First Nations and Indigenous peoples. The Child and Youth Advocate is observing the day with a special edition of the Young Artist Program, where young people are invited to send an artwork that reflects what being Indigenous means to them. In Montreal, the Mohawk community of Conoake is hosting various activities and workshops, including a fish filleting demonstration, a bookmark making workshop, and a free concert with Indigenous artists. 10 years of work. This year, 2025, is the 10th anniversary of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada's report exposing the devastating legacy of Canada's residential schools, and the 6th anniversary of the report from the National Inquiry into Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls. When Pope Francis visited Canada in July 2022, his first public address included an apology to the representatives of Indigenous peoples of the First Nations, the Métis, and the Inuit for the evils committed by many Christians against the Indigenous peoples in Canada and the residential school system. I have come to your native lands to tell you in person of my sorrow, to implore God's forgiveness, healing and reconciliation, to express my closeness and to pray with you and for you. National Indigenous Peoples Day is dedicated also to remembering the victims and their families affected by the history of suffering. Indigenous peoples are a blessing. 2 days ahead of the National Day, the Canadian Conference of Catholic Bishops, CCCB, released a statement in French and English, encouraging people to remember and reflect on Pope Francis' legacy and give thanks for the progress made toward reconciliation over the years. In their statement, the bishops stressed that Indigenous peoples are a blessing to the Church and Canadian society. They urge everyone to open their hearts and minds to their brothers and sisters and deepen their understanding of the Indigenous peoples, reminding Catholics that, as members of the Church, we are called to build relationships rooted in truth, justice, and compassion. They close by inviting everyone to continue the journey of walking together in a spirit of hope and solidarity toward reconciliation,